Live.
Yep. We're live.
About to choke up a lung.
Hello, America. Uh, Happy Saturday Night Live. We're back. Okay.
Yeah. Want to get to the mantra immediately?
Yeah,
Let's do it.
immediately. hmm The new epoch of the gods. Through the power, force, might, and will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers, of the great nothingness of almighty flow, the great nothingness of infinite beingness, of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible light from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into realization, actualization, and form as we all now will and commanded to be is now being and becoming an active force of higher consciousness and an active force of infinite intelligence within us all now. Being and becoming the great primordial dragon god son Kundalini flames, now whirling and ascending up our spines from our root chakra to our central heart chakra, on up to our royal crown chakra, igniting our royal crown chakra, illuminating our first eye, our Lord Amenel Dragra, our hidden priestly grandmaster magi, dragon god, son, king, and queen, igniting all of the 72 chakras in our first eye, our 72 primordial dragon gods, sun, kings, and queens, and all of our legions of 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 armies 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 of armies. Now, willing all of the powers, all of the forces, all of the elements, all of the essences, all of the dark matter, dark energy in the entire omniverse, earth, and physical and spiritual matrix and heavenlies into being and becoming all of our will servants, serving all of our will's objectives, intentions, and desires, crystallizing them all into realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be. Now, being and becoming an active force, an active source of supernal light and supernal energy that we're all now using to unlock and activating all of our higher DNA, returning it all back online within us through the black dot within our first eye. Universe B, the world to come. Now, increasing the vibratory rate of our entire being up higher and higher and higher, changing every atom and subatomic particle of matter within our entire beingness back into a new primordial chaos out of order being of higher manus, the master manifester of all reality and beingness, manifesting into our reality and beingness a new and greater mind, connected to Atma, the Most High. Wow. Pulling in unlimited supernal light and energy from right out of Atma into our lower, higher and lower manus, on down into our physical reality, transforming it here as all of the substance that we need now to take total control of our reality in this matrix through the knowledge of our true higher and lower inner selves as we begin to learn how to magnetically reattaching all of our higher DNA back together again, empowered by the supernal light and energy of Atma control through higher manas, to begin phasing in universe B, the world to come, while phasing out universe A, the world being and becoming destroyed now by raising the our vibratory rate up so high until it began to awaken and igniting all of the divine sparks within this matrix one by one, all going supermental consciousness together, bypassing all of their humanity, completely destroying the solutionary matrix at once, being and becoming pure supernal energy, vibrating higher and higher and higher, being and becoming more massive than the sun until we suck the entire sun and solar system into our supernal light and supernal darkness, collapsing this entire space-time continuum into our supernal energy as it continues vibrating faster and faster and faster until it implodes, explode, forming into a universe, be the world to come on a new earth, expressed in its grandest grace and beauty in a universe now built on the foundation and fabric of divine love, peace, justice, harmony, and balance, as all of the souls come together to celebrate the great feast and grand festival of the new epoch of the gods through the power, force, might, and will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty flow, the great nothingness of infinite beingness, of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible life from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be. Abracadabra, Ashe. Crown Chakra Day, libations. Ain the nothingness, Ashe. Ain soft the infinite, Ashe. Ain soft or the infinite light, Ashe. Atik, Adam Catman, Atik Yaman, the ancient of ancient, the most ancient of days. Arik Yampin, the big face, the primordial Christ, Ashe. Absolute emanations, the supernal holy universe manifesting as our holy divine infinite magical names, the cosmic Christ, Ashe. The great abyss of gnosis manifesting as our crown of Zaramp, the small face, the indwelling Christ, Ashe. Berea, form, creation, and paradise, manifesting in us as our holy divine infinite magical dark archangels and demons, Ashe. Yetzirah, formation, manifesting in us as our holy divine infinite magical orders of dark angels and demons, Ashe. Ashia, the actual physical world in the making, manifesting in us as our holy divine infinite magical earthly kingdom, Ashe. Yashida, the holy divine infinite magical spark, manifesting in us as our holy divine infinite magical will, Ashe. Neshama, Heya, our holy divine infinite magical life force, manifesting in us as our holy divine infinite magical desire, Ashe. Neshama, our holy divine infinite magical heavenly soul and spirit, manifesting in us as our holy divine infinite magical heavenly thoughts, Ashe. Ruach, our holy divine infinite magical soul, manifesting in us as our holy divine infinite magical words spoken through us, Ashe. Nephish, our holy divine infinite magical earthly soul, manifesting into realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be, Ashe. Kether, the supernal crown, Ashe. Hakma, the supernal father, wisdom, Ashe. Bana, intelligence, the supernal mother, Ashe. Da, the great abyss of gnosis, Ashe. Ha, mercy, Ashe. No, Hesed, mercy, Ashe. Gavora, judgment, Ashe. Tiferet, beauty, Ashe. Netzik, victory, Ashe. Had, glory, Ashe. Yasad, foundation, Ashe. Malkut, the kingdom, Ashe. The power, force, might, will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty flow. The primordial cosmic flower constantly blooming the absolute all into being, Ashe.
Destiny Ashe, Empress Ashe, Cyrus Ashe, Isis Ashe, Order out of Chaos Beings Ashe, um, Latent DNA Ashe,
Ashe.
Ma'at Ashe,
Ashe.
Kalisma Ashe,
Ashe.
the beyond gods, Ashe.
Ashe.
All gods known and unknown, all
Ashe.
goddesses known and unknown. Ashe.
Ashe.
Okay. Let me read something right quick before we go. Let me read something right quick. Okay, this is an article on latent DNA, right? Now
Yes.
you're seeing why they're trying to attack the DNA, our DNA, through these vaccinations and stuff, right? Unwrapping our deepest potential begins at the molecular level, the avenue which science and spirituality meets and true consciousness is born as we aware, as we aware within, we aware in mind and body too. We we sleep, walking through our day for embodying our higher selves, everyday life. Breathe. The breathe beneath the mindset works the regulations of our body nervous system lies the root of our deep growth and healing potential. Our spiritual DNA simply awaits the opportunity to fully wake up when our mind, body, and spirit are collectively awake, aligned, and activated. We unwrap all of who we are and become all we've been designed to be. The science of DNA activation. We humans only use approximately 3% of our DNA. According to the geneticists worldwide, the remaining 97% is considered junk DNA. The the double helix DNA strand structure we are most commonly familiar with holds enormous amounts of information. Despite our DNA being the home to large amounts of data, the majority of it is still considered interest by extraeus by scientists. Yet, what if this data wasn't junk at all, but actually embedded with the this the distinctive information and potential yet not yet discovered. So, and this is an article on it's called the courage practice, the courage practice. You can look up that article. It goes deep into how what we've been saying on this show is that the latent DNA that they're calling junk DNA is actually superpowers,
Higher DNA.
right? It's superpowers. I'm trying
Yeah.
to tell you, this is what's
The,
coming online right now.
yeah, the
Right? This
X-Men.
is why the vaccination was necessary because
Yep.
this latent DNA is coming online now.
Yep. So they have to retard it.
Right.
Yep. And then make it mandatory for everybody to do that shit. So you can retard the entire race and prevent that ascensioning from happening.
But you see how they try to be slick about it and try to say, oh, it's a vaccination when it's actually gene therapy.
Yep. Well, I could say genetic warfare.
It is genetic warfare. Why? Because they know that things are coming online and they have to prevent it because once it comes online, we're going to actually shift reality to a more favorable one for our spiritual growth.
Yep. Yep. We're going to be shifting out of this reality, out of this dimension, and
We've
shifting
already
away.
shifted, really. It's
Yeah.
just some what how it works with the collective consciousness is that there are catalyst minds that are catalysts to this growth, to this evolution. Then you got all of the dumb deaf and blind.
The commoners.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we're going to be the vanguard for this movement, this shift, this
Hmm.
energetic shift.
The nucleus.
And when we evolve, all of humanity is going to evolve.
Yep. They coming with us. So I mean, we have to stay. Well, it's only natural for us to stay clear from all of the propaganda and all the bullshit. We have an immunity against that. There's something inside of us that automatically a red flag that just comes on. It just pops up. Something up with this shit. Does
But
not
we were meant to
harmonize.
be here at the end of a world,
Hmm. Well, we are the ending of the world.
of course. But like I said, we was is meant to, because that's crazy. Because how prophecy is a part of this latent DNA activation process, because the prophets will come and basically give you like the benchmark for
Hmm.
these different. They'd be the benchmark, and you
Yeah.
can actually look at the prophets that came. They were well, every prophet that came was a benchmark for this shifting of energy.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
They announced. They were the announcers
Yeah,
of what was to come.
right.
Yeah.
And a lot of the prophets really come out of that particular group of people culture. Now Prophet Noble Drew Ali came out of our ilk, right? Our energy,
Hmm.
because all the other prophets were of other nationalities, right? Not that it takes away from from their prophetic energy, and they because we honor all prophets
Hmm.
because they all come in that same spirit,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So Prophet Noble Drew Ali came and was the last prophet in this time. He was the last prophet in this time. And when we talk about time, we talk about these cycles, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
These period of time, this 25,000 years to 25,000 years and 15,000 years to 100,000, right? But every 50,000 years, we have these shifts.
I thought it was every 25,000 years.
Well,
Well,
it is
there's
25,000,
within
50,000. Yeah,
yeah, okay. Well, actually, the 25,000 year shift is, I mean, cycle is a cycle within another cycle, which is a
right.
cycle within another cycle, which is a cycle within another cycle.
Well, that's why I added it up to 50,000,
Mm-hmm.
because remember, you know how all the religions are like. Well, Christianity was like an apocalyptic religion. All of them predicted the end of the world. All of the original Christians,
Mm-hmm.
the whole basis of was apocalyptic.
Mm-hmm.
Even Jesus predicted the end of the world.
Yeah, the
His
ending
so-called
of.
time period, mind you, this is a alternate reality. The whole Bible scripture you shouldn't be taking literal based on it's a different dimension. It's a different energetic um, reality, right? Just like we
Mm-hmm.
can't dismiss mythos. We can't dismiss mythos because it is a part of a reality that's elusive to this reality, but it is a reality though. But it ain't literal reality.
Maybe mythology is a way of explaining things that happens within a period of 25,000 years, 50,000 years, 150,000 years, just told in a little short story.
Oh yeah, it's that too. But everything dealing with us as a people is
Hmm.
is diverse in nature. It has multiple meanings. It's multidimensional in nature. everything involved with us.
Yeah. Well, again, like when you go back to Madame Blavatsky in The Secret Doctrine, where she talks about the seven um, root races, and within each seven root races are seven sub races, and each root race takes hundreds of thousands of years, or maybe even millions of years, to to run its course. And within that root race, you have seven sub races, and those seven sub races, run their course every 6, 7, 8, 12,000 years. You go into the next sub race, and then to the next sub race. Then once you finish seven sub race, you completed a whole root race. And then you start the next root race and the first sub race of the next root race. And then so many thousands of years, the next sub race appears. But all root races, we're supposed to be in the fifth root race, and all the root races prior to us, they all didn't exist on Earth. The Earth sphere just recently came. And so, and as we ascend up higher on the sub races and the root races, we'll eventually leave the Earth plane and ascend to higher, greater levels of existence beyond the Earth plane.
Okay, but look, I understand what you're saying, but there are are saying that the Earth is older than the whole universe.
Yes, the Earth is.
So, but
Yeah.
there is a time period when there was beyond. It was before there was a Earth, but this was so long ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Earth is actually a vibrational state of being, right? It's a
Mm-hmm.
vibrational state of being. It's not an actual place. You know what I'm saying? It's a
Mm-hmm.
vibration. It's a
Mm-hmm.
state, right?
It can solidify in any dimension.
Even even what there's a saying in more science that says time was not when man time
There
there
was
was
never
no
a time
time when
that
man was
man.
not, because the time come when man when time well okay, I can't say it for I'm saying verbatim. It said
Mm-hmm.
time was when man was not, because the time if a time come when man would be and man would be, or something like that, because it's saying we infinite. Man itself is infinite. Man
Yeah,
is
there.
mind, and the mind was existing with the primal mother, the original primal essence of the universe.
Yeah, man is manus
Right.
thought. Mm-hmm.
And it was there in the original primal state of the whole cosmos.
Which means man
The
is not.
cosmos, what's the difference between the cosmos and the universe? What's the difference?
The cosmos is the order part. Is order. That's the chaos becoming order.
Mm-mm. The
That's
cosmos is the cosmos is the energetic aspect of the universe and the states of the universe. The universe is the actual physical order that manifested out of this cosmic states, all these different cosmic states.
chaos
When
from the
you talk
chaos.
about when you talk about cosmic, you're talking about the energy. You're talking about the um the formless form, or
No, the cosmos is after the chaos. The chaos was before the cosmos.
okay,
Cosmos came from the chaos.
right. But
Okay,
I'm
the
saying
cosmos
there's a
formed into
difference between cosmos and inner and in universe. That's what I'm saying. The cosmos predates the universe,
the
right?
cosmic.
Like I said, the cosmos is the state of energy of this particular energetic season.
Well, I think everything is in this. We exist within the cosmos.
No, of course. I'm not. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Well, I say are we have a synchronicity relationship with the cosmos. What you call
Well, you call it polarity, as within,
it's a
so
word for
without.
it. It's a word for it. I can't think of it right now, but we have
Hmm.
like we are connected to it. We like a microcosm of it.
The synchronicity.
We are the macro and the micro. I mean the
Mhm.
macro and the micro, and the macro and the micro. Yeah,
Well, it's an affinity. We have an affinity. We're an expression of what we're both an expression of each other.
right.
Yeah, the universe express base it expresses itself based on what's mentally going on inside of us.
Energetically too,
Yeah.
right? Because it's mind over matter. We've been led to believe that it's matter over mind. Actually, mind over matter.
Well, we hear
The
that.
hierarchy of this is a hierarchy of these different states. Is mind over matter, which is these are two states of reality. Mind is a state of reality. Physical reality is a state of reality because the state that we're in, what we call physical, is created by the mind, the condition of the mind, a state of the mind.
Yeah. And then the mind has to pretty much bend everything like a ether, you gotta you gotta yeah, tap into that etheric energy, because that's what helped form shit.
Yeah, we are it. We are that etheric energy, and
Hmm.
all we have to do is tap into it within ourselves. And this is how we have a correspondence with the seemingly ethers in that's around us.
And not only
That's why they can't detect it. They have no machine that can literally detect it. We can see we can see indication that the ether is there,
hmm
but they can't detect it.
yeah, they can see some type of disturbance
You can see
caused from,
indications of it
yeah, the cause. They can see the some type, yeah, but they can't see
or
it,
detect.
yeah, because it's not in this dimension.
It's not of human conceptualization. It's not of humans. It's beyond humanity. You have
Yeah,
to go beyond humanity in
mm-hmm.
order for you to grasp. And I wouldn't even use the word grasp, but have this intuitive experience with this state.
Hmm. Within that intuitive experience with that state, you can split atoms, you can split neutrinos.
I mean, why you can because you can embody every aspect of the universe because you are it. Remember, we
Yeah,
just said we are a micro of the macro of the
yeah,
micro.
and by
So
doing that,
we
but
embody it. We can literally engage in that flow of energy as just like a stream. We don't go against the stream. You go with the
Mhm.
stream.
Yeah, imagine we can ignite our own nuclear fusion from within using the kundalini and the chakras.
We can.
Huh?
We can.
Yeah.
Everything. The potentials are endless.
And that's how you power your Merkaba, through your
Of course.
kundalini and chakras. That's
Right.
the
This is a what they call free energy. They
yeah.
call it free energy, or what they call it here. They call it free energy, or damn, I forget. There's another word for it. Free energy. That's the main one, though. Free energy.
You're pulling energy from right out of nothingness.
Right. And this is the problem with people in this reality, right? If they get so emotionally attached, when you emotionally attach yourself to an idea, it's hard to detach it. It's hard to detach
You
it.
embody
You will have to detach yourself from these normal programmings that they've indoctrinated you with.
they embody them. They become the manifest.
Exactly. This is the
Yeah.
point. This is the point. We embody all
Guardians.
these things. We embody all these things that prohibit us from expanding and going beyond this third three-dimensional orientation.
And then become guardians to fight against anything that would try to neutralize that.
They are guardians. Like your ego is
Mm-hmm.
a guardian from you evolving, transcending beyond the ego, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you said, the demiurge is the ego,
Yeah, it is the
right?
ego.
So
Yeah.
once you transcend the demiurge, the ego, this is why the God is jealous. He's a jealous God.
Yeah, but see that. But see, you got to understand though that we are the demiurge. It's a part of us. We have to bring the demiurge within us under control.
I said this. We just said the same thing.
Yep.
But I just said transcend. You said under control. I said transcended. And
Yep.
at the end of the day, I will use transcend
Hmm.
because you realize that you are at the helm of the centralized energy system. That's a cosmic centralized energy system. This is how you develop your Merkaba. If you're not doing visualization work, it's not gonna work.
And since the demiurge is the master craftsman, once you transcend that energy, you become the master demiurge, the master craftsman.
The demiurge is a part of your ability to manifest any reality.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
You must learn to go beyond that ego, though.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Your
because
ego
that.
is an inhibitor chip. I call it how it is. Inhibitor chips that exist in the mental, that exist in the spirit realm. That's why the Bible said we're not battling flesh and blood beings. We're battling principalities and things beyond human comprehension. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, so these beings out here that's supposedly subjugating us or bringing war against us is only shit that's going on inside of us that we're battling, that's being manifested and played out in the physical world as these particular so-called people or beings.
Right. The perfect way I can see it being explained is I explained it how I explained it in that video I did. Y'all should go peep that out. That short video I did on mastery over your demons is your genius.
Yes.
Right. This is ancient. This is mind you. This is ancient information, and you have to reorientate yourself to it in order for you to get it. If you are strict, my thing is this is what I don't like, bro. Christians always talk to you as if they are definitive in what they're saying, right? And my thing is, why are y'all so confident when everything that you need to reach these higher spiritual aspects or levels of yourself, right? It's in the
Hmm.
Bible, but
Yeah, it is.
they tell you that that idea has to be taken in a way, like for example, communion. When they take
Hmm.
communion, and they drink the blood, the wine, and they eat the flesh, right?
Hmm.
This is a ritual that you are conducting that is a alchemic ritual. It's an alchemic process. It's
Hmm.
alchemy is what you're
Yeah.
doing because you're
Yep.
attempting to tap into a certain aspect of your energy through doing this ritual. It's a
Hmm.
correspondence ritual.
You're communicating to your subconscious mind. You're using,
Yes, yes,
yeah, you're casting a spell on yourself. It's an affirmation, a spell, a suggestion, auto suggestion, all
right.
of that.
Convincing anything you convince your subconscious of, it becomes
It manifests into physical reality.
right.
Your subconscious mind has access to infinite intelligence. That's our subconscious mind is our access to that nothingness that
It's
creates the
it's the
absolute.
it's the it's the it's the dark realm. It's like where Osiris reigned. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
The underworld.
The
Yeah,
underworld.
yeah. Osiris, our El Cristo Negro, Lord of the underworld. Who is Osiris, the God and King of the underworld, who works very well with La Santisima Muerte, who is the goddess of the cemetery and death, who
And
brings.
also it relates to how the ancient government structures was set up, where you got the higher Senate and you got the lower Senate. I mean the Congress, higher Congress and lower Congress, which is Congress assembled in the Senate. The Senate represents the underworld,
Hmm.
right? The
Hmm.
Congress represents the conscious
Hmm.
perception. Because
Okay.
what? Why? Because in a vote, right? It
Hmm.
actually depends on the acting head of the Senate or whatever
Well,
making.
then that means the Senate should be all females. If they represents the underworld, the
Right.
negative,
Yeah, you're
they
right.
should all be
Yeah,
female.
you're right. I mean, you're right because but what happens is they have reversed the polarity of most women, so now they're not representing the divine feminine that
Mhm.
compensates all of this energy buildup. We have to understand that everything we're doing is a ritual. Everything we doing is an energy exchange.
Yeah.
Everything. This show, your
Hmm.
life, going to take
Hmm.
a bath is an energy exchange. It's
Hmm.
all what you're doing with that energy exchange. Who is the one running the? Because most of the people right
Some
now they
people
got a demon in the middle of that energy exchange, and that demon is using that exchange in their interest,
yeah, they feeding off of it.
right? So we have to understand this back and forth between worlds and how
Hmm.
this is a receptacle, is a receptacle, right?
Yeah.
You have to practice these rituals. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
your own
Me.
rituals, mind you, there you can come up with your own rituals, but you
Yeah.
have to do this because this reciprocal relationship has to continue. This is what your ancestors was telling you.
Yeah. You have to make an altar, and it's good to leave food and water on your altar.
Right. Right. I mean, the other nationalities get this, right? Because they understand piety and deity.
Hmm.
Piety and deity is a governmental understand. This is why government is divine. This is why government is divine. If once we establish a Moorish government,
Hmm.
we will be operating in the bringing heaven down to earth
Yeah.
aspect of ourselves.
And the great thing about it is based on treaties that was set into motion in the 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, 1800s before the United States was formed in the 1700s.
When you
Okay, so
understand the power of these treaties, the United States is insignificant.
yes, exactly. They have nothing to say. They have no say so in
They
the
have
matter.
no authority. They have no
Yeah,
authority at all.
but as long as we're acting in their, like you say, jurisdiction, they get to kick
They have
our
authority.
ass left
The
and right
Dred
any
Scott
way
case.
they want, day and night, night and day, any way they want. It
The
ain't a
Dred Scott
damn
case.
thing anyone can do about
The
it.
Dred Scott case.
Okay.
No, what you're saying, all you saying, what you just said, is the Dred
Yeah.
Scott case,
Oh, okay.
right? Because you study the Dred Scott case. What was the precedence of the Dred Scott case? The precedence was Dred Scott, a so-called Negro, was
Mm-hmm.
claiming that he was free because he
Mm-hmm.
went to a state, he went to a free state, right?
Mm-hmm.
The whole
Mm-hmm.
basis of it, some people say it was the dispute between Congress having the right to infringe on slavery, right? But really, actually, that's what it was too. That's like if you legalese, you want to speak legalese, but really, it was a property rights claim. Dred Scott claimed he was free. He basically won his case, but his master came back and refuted the claim. He appealed the claim. He appealed the court, and he won his case. Why? Because the property rights issue was the highest supreme issue. The supreme. So listen, the supreme issue was the property right claim. Is Dred Scott free, or is he still property of the master? I forgot the name of the dude he was claiming.
So when he claimed his freedom, he wasn't claiming his freedom under his true sovereignty that was set up in the 1500s.
He wasn't claiming his sovereignty under anything he determined. He wasn't claiming his sovereignty under anything his ancestors set up in a structural manner to secure the interests of their people and protect them. None of that. He's claiming it under the current state, the mindset. The state is the mind. The state, whatever state you in, is the mind state you in, right? So
yeah,
he was not privy to the fact that he is free as a Moor.
Yes,
he's not free as a Negro, Black, and colored African American. Those entities are not free. They're entities. They're not actual living, breathing. They're not actual flesh and blood beings.
Yeah, they're yeah, they're Pulp Fiction.
Right.
Yeah, they're Pulp Fiction.
Imagine you identifying as a dead entity. You identify as a dead entity. Oh, you're dead. It's a concept in law called civilar mortuus, meaning dead in the eyes of the law. See, we don't get it that there's a such thing called the spirit of the law, the body of the law, and the spirit of the law, the body of the law, and I'll think of the last one in a minute. But basically, these are aspects of the law. The law is a living entity, is living. Right?
Yeah.
And as it being a living entity, you have to honor that law. That's the law we're talking about. We're not talking about people's jurisdictional determinations and legislations. No, the law is beyond humanity. The law basically existed in the cosmos before there was a humanity. Right? This is the law. As a matter of fact, the law is the structural formation that humanity came out of. So you can my thing is we become lawless as a mindset, and I'm not talking about following other people's positive law. I'm talking about the law as it pertains to how we operate.
Universal
right? How we
law.
operate in a certain manner, certain energies and stuff of that nature. That's the law.
Yeah.
Land, air, water. Law. Land, air, water, space. Laws.
Yeah, so like when you're on a certain land, you have to give something up to that land, and that land will bless you.
It's a symbiosis. It's a symbiosis, man.
Yeah.
It's a symbiosis.
You have to honor the spirits.
Which the European does not have the spirit, the energy, the nature to align itself with this symbiosis relationship.
No, they have a meanness. They have a barbaric meanness.
Their idea of you see how they said this is the law. This is not the law of the jungle. This is the law of which is. They said this is the law of the jungle. This is the law of something else, whatever. Bush made a speech back in the 90s where he said this is not the law of the jungle anymore. This is the law of something else, right? Well, the law of the jungle is the primal laws that govern all of us from a nature standpoint, natural law, nature's law, the
Yeah.
metaneta, the metroneta, right? Which
Hmm.
is a corruption of what we're referring to as God today, right? Because,
Yep.
well, mind you, God is just an utterance. God is just an invoking. You invoke your reality. This is make what we just said. God is the potential of creating your own realities, right? It's the
Yeah.
potential. It's the energy associated. Now, the demiurge is the process of actually doing that. It embodies the process.
The
God is the
craft.
energy because it's a spirit involved. It's a spirit that gotta be in the container that moves, the vehicle that moves, right?
Hmm.
This is the basic semiotic relationship we have with this interchange, this exchange. We are the vessels for a higher spiritual purpose here on earth, right? We the vessels.
Well, see,
Because
it's the same.
how can what we call semi so God, which is invoking some higher um part of ourselves that we embody and we carry out. For example, in Islam, right? A Muslim, a Muslim is one who submits to Allah. Allah meaning Allah meaning all law, right? A Muslim is one who a Muslim though a Muslim not a Muslim a Muslim Muslim they submit to Allah. A Muslim Moslem they carry out the will of Allah, right? So
Hmm.
you got these two different interpretations, right? And these interpretations come from the nature of which where you are, because we are diametrically opposed to what we're calling Europeans. They're modern Europeans actually, but we're diametrically opposed as it pertains to the way we do things and the way they do things,
Yeah.
right? They have a perverted version of ancient science. It's the same shit that they're doing. They've incorporated nothing more than what we taught them.
But theirs is inverted.
Okay, you can say that.
Yeah.
You can say that.
Along with perverted, but inverted.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
So these are two different natures.
Hmm. Two different
Adopting
natures.
adopting their way, we have strayed from our divine path. We are not on we can never be on a divine path amalgamating to a foreigner's way of doing things. And that's retarded in the first place. Because how you gonna go take from somebody who took from your ancestors? That makes sense. That don't make no sense. They took whatever everything they have today basically is a watered down version of how they learned how to survive and 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 even have the concept of a higher being. They got it
Yeah,
from
they took.
us.
They got it from us. They got it from the ancient us. Our ancient from us. The shit that we put down thousands, hundreds of thousands of years ago, and we came back here now to activate this shit and bring it on.
But that's the thing. When we created it, we knew it wasn't going to be effective until now,
Hmm.
right? It
Hmm.
wouldn't be effective until now because there's an energy associated. There's a shift in consciousness. There's a shift in the cosmos that's associated with when this information floods out and comes out. Because, like I said, the prophecies is literally set up based in this um, time schedule where this information will be readily available for us. This DNA will come online, and now it's like a perfect scenario,
where it's more
a perfect
where it
case
becomes
scenario.
relevant. Where it becomes very relevant.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a perfect case scenario, and
Yeah.
we are geniuses at this. I'm talking about multi-level geniuses at this. So the
Mm-hmm.
last thing we ever want to do is think our ancestors are not in control of this, and we are our ancestors without doubt and contradiction. Our ancestors in control of
We
this.
are in the DNA that's inside of us. Yeah. And they live inside of us. They're the higher DNA, the what they call the junk DNA. They're in the two strands, the two helix to that junk DNA. That
Right.
you there?
So it's up to
Oh,
you. It's up to us.
so we're going into
It's
the
up to you. It's up to us. You hear me?
Yep,
Can you
I
hear
hear
me?
you. I'm listening. Yeah, I
Well,
can hear you.
it literally we. I mean, I don't even entertain people telling me what's happening outside of us. Like if it's not
Mm-hmm.
reflected on what's happening within us, right? I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, you don't get it because everything that seems to be
Mm-hmm.
is being dictated from what's happening within inside of us.
Yeah. So
So if you're
you
not
should
coming
be.
at it from that perspective, that frame of thinking, if you're not recognizing latent DNA, if you're not recognizing that things are are prophesied to be scheduled at a certain time, then
Mm-hmm.
it's like you don't understand how we exist. We don't exist on time. Time is not our concern. We don't deal with time at all.
No. Well, we deal with. Okay, we deal with these cycles.
That's not time though.
Okay, but that's what we. Okay, well, that's the thing. We're calling these wheels. We're in these cycles.
No, an aspect of us are um, going through the process of recognizing the bigger picture. And once you recognize, of course, most don't recognize and they've forgotten. Those are the ones that are within the will that don't recognize they're within the will, but they are the will.
Mm-hmm. Well, they getting spun around.
And this is
Yep.
yes, this is what Elijah Muhammad was talking about when he talked about the will within the will. These spaceships,
Mm.
right? He
Yeah,
was
you can take it
talking.
that way. Some way.
See, they thought he was talking about actual physical spaceships and mothership and shit.
Yeah.
No, nothing is physical. It's all spirit. Remember, no, Drew Ali said, everything I say is spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, Elijah Pooh Bay, which we call Elijah Muhammad, he was in the Moorish Science Temple,
Mm-hmm.
right? He was in the Moorish Science Temple. And he was,
Mm-hmm.
most people say, oh, he was in the Moorish Science Temple. Why did he create an organization and start calling us black again? He was part of the process of us growing. He had we he supposed to do. He's supposed to do what he's supposed to did. I mean, he's
Yeah,
supposed
because
to
we
did.
were at the level that we were at.
But guess what? The
What?
the elevated what we call the erudite, right? The erudite would recognize, oh, Elijah Muhammad was in the Moorish Science Temple, and most people letting their emotions get the best of them. Well, he shouldn't have started calling us black again. Well, he's supposed to. Why? Because we wasn't supposed to get the fact that we're not Negro, black, and colored until now.
Okay.
It was the
I get it.
it was all, see, the odds have to be against us on so many levels. The odds against the gods.
Yeah, because that's what activates us is this when everything is completely against us. That's when infinite intelligence pretty much completely throws itself on us.
Right. But we
And
gotta
when
go though, bro.
everything is complete,
Get your last words in, brother.
well, as I was saying, when everything is completely gone completely the wrong way, when the entire world is on the opposing side, you're on the right track because
Yes.
that's where
Yes.
that that's when infinite intelligence will throw itself upon you. It will
Right.
become like you're a cheap slut whore. I mean,
Right.
it's come legs wide open, and
This spirit.
you'll see
Right. Go
the
ahead. My
miracle.
bad.
Well, the shit will get done. The mountains get moved, and the naysayers they get put to sleep. They get put to rest. The world sees, and then you continue on, and it's like then it never happened, but it's in everybody's mind. And it happens again when it has to happen again. But okay, say what you want to say.
Okay. Yeah. The end of the extra egotistical brothers and sisters out here that can't see past their own selfish crap. Right. The day of that is over with. Right. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're going into a portion of this society. I mean, a time period in this society where our unity is going to be our best resource,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, this is supposed to happen too. The odds are supposed to be against us. The fact that the most, the people who are speaking the most effective unity, which is political unity, because we always talk about unity, but what's the most effective unity? Political unity. We have to move in one accord on our political interests as a people. We have to be on
Okay.
one accord about that. What is
Mm-hmm.
in our political interests, right? What
Mm-hmm.
what is we supposed to have in control of our own economy? We supposed to have our own government structure that protects us as a people. Us.
Yes.
Right? The
Yeah.
United States does not protect us, man. Stop.
No, we
Stop
got to
thinking
get
that.
out of that mindset. We got to like you've been saying it all along. We got to go back. We got to learn these treaties that was already put into place way before the United States came into existence, where we have divine sovereignty.
Our ancestors did not leave us hanging. Period. You just have
So
to understand how to align yourself back up with this mindset of your ancestors. Right now, we as a people, as a culture, have turned our backs on our ancestors.
we've been pushed away from our ancestors.
Yeah, that too, but for the most part, we
But
turned our
and
back
we
on.
turned our backs too
We turned our backs on.
because we had the Afrocentric movement, we have the Afro conscious movement. We've been having all these all these conscious movements and coming together movements since the 80s.
I beg to differ. Those are being movements where we were actually embracing the mindset of our ancestors. First of all, I don't agree. I
You
have
know?
evidence. I have evidence, and I'm going to pull it up next show. I can't do it this show because I got to go. That
Mm-hmm.
the whole what we call the Black Power movement, the whole out of Africa idea concept was given to us. It was not. That was not the idea of our ancestors, mind you. Like I said, we have to learn how to um uh what they call throw off the bath without the baby. What they call how that saying going? Uh, throw off the bath without the
Don't
baby.
throw the baby out. Don't throw the baby out
Don't
of the
throw the baby out
bathwater.
with the bath water, right?
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
brothers like brother Dr. Ben, the other brother, the Jewish
Clark.
brother who was Clark. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Ben,
Vernon
John Henry
Maxwell.
Clark.
Henry Clark. Yeah.
Brother, we have to realize that they were all educated in
Dick Gregory.
colonized universities and
Mm-hmm.
European universities,
Mm-hmm.
and they had not been privy to a certain mindset that would have. Because mind you, I'm not blaming those brothers. They were had good intentions and everything, but they wasn't privy to the concept that we are speaking of, that we are only privy to now because it's only 100 years out of slavery, and Noble Drew Ali was on the scene, and he gave us certain concepts that made us connect to. For example, the concept of this is Northwest Africa. Africa
Mm-hmm.
just being a broad perspective of that political dominance over the planet. Because no, remember, um, brother Khalid Muhammad said Africa was not our home. Let me let that linger in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Africa was not our home. Africa was the
Mm-hmm.
throne from which we ruled the whole planet.
Okay.
So, from that perspective, that whole out of Africa, that whole we all come from Africa concept. No, we come
Yeah.
from this planet. We come from this plane of existence. Period.
Yeah. We were everywhere. I
We
tell
come from this
people.
plane of existence. This was
Yeah. We're.
our home. The whole
Mm-hmm.
plane was our existence, not just so-called Africa.
And there was no such thing as Africa. It was Al Capitalon.
No, you just using the word Africa because it's more
Okay, the
common
colonized
use.
word.
Yes, the
Yeah.
colonized common usage. But we
Yeah.
know
Okay.
what we're talking about. We're talking about when we say Africa. When I say Africa, we're talking about the cradle of civilization. We're talking about where mathematics were developed, where science was developed. The not a place, the state where this state was developed, not the place, the state
Mhm.
where
Okay.
these all of these different cultural significant ideas that every culture created their culture using.
Yeah, because the same designs you see in Egypt or Kemet, you're gonna see in Hawaii, you're gonna see in Mexico, you're gonna see in America, you're
So
gonna
you're
see in
gonna see
Asia.
this worldwide significant culture that's global.
Yeah.
And you can also understand that we had a system on the planet that was beyond the modern day understanding of this planet, because all of those pyramids are in these sites, these spiritual sites. I call them spiritual sites. They were set up on ley lines on the planet. If you
That
understand ley
remember that
lines,
movie?
huh?
Remember that movie Avatar?
Yes,
Okay, you know how the planet Pandora, how the inhabitants were connected to that planet, and how
yes,
and the that was Earth at one time.
right,
That big tree,
right.
we had big giant trees like that here.
The whole
Like,
story of Avatar was based on what we just talked about in this show. That we are part of the universe, so we embody every aspect of it.
mm-hmm,
Every aspect of it, we embody it. We are it. It is us.
And
of
then
every
those,
aspect of the cosmos, every aspect of existence, the nothingness, everything is us. It's a part of us.
yeah, and then they had war. Those who came from the sky came down.
Wow. It's playing off of look, it's a recurring theme in all these movies, right? Where the
Hmm.
apes, where the apes become intelligent.
Hmm.
They telling you that's a metaphor. That's a metaphor, bro. I'm trying to tell you. The
War.
apes being the Neanderthal, those who came, mind you, they always tell us. And then also, remember, they tell us these hominid Neanderthal groups came out of Africa.
Yeah, and then the humans they became dormant. All they couldn't talk no more. They were dumb. They were dumbed down. They weren't everything that they were.
Even in the Bible, right? In Genesis, where they talked about not with the yeah, Genesis, where they talked about the Garden of Eden, right?
Hmm.
There were people outside of the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, they were people. Yeah.
Now, mind you, listen, these people outside of the Gardens of Eden was another spiritual development of the instance of, and you can say it was genetic experiments going on,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So also, what happens is the Garden of Eden is like I said, it's not a place. It's an
It's a
energetic
laboratory.
state. It's an
It was a
energetic state,
laboratory.
huh?
Genes of Isis. It was a genetic laboratory,
Right.
outside laboratory. Genes. It was a
And
genetic
at the end of the
experiment.
day, I believe the Bible is literally describing when we created the Tamahu.
Hmm. Yep.
That's what I think it was. We were the
Hmm.
gods. We were the gods, and we created the Tamahu. That's that creation story right there.
Well, that yeah, or that some being that eventually the Tamahu and all these other races came from.
Right. But if you break it all down, this how I did a video on this too. You need to go watch it because I'm when I speak on some shit, I'm speaking on it from a thorough research perspective, frame of thinking. I did a video talking about how if you don't have the wide nose, the kinky hair, and the wide and the big lips, you are what's called a genetic mutation. And genetic mutation is not a good thing. It's just adaptation to it's an adaptation to an environment that you see yourself in. You know what I'm saying? The most optimum environment would be along the equator, right? You would want to develop
Hmm.
your genetics in these areas because it's the optimum area to develop these super gene entities, these super
Hmm.
genes, right? So when
So.
we talk about this concept, they leave out what I just said. They're trying to make it appear that mutation is evolution in the sense of it evolved. It went up a notch, but it actually
Yeah.
just adapted. It actually just adapted to the actual climatical state that it was in at the time. That
Mm.
doesn't necessarily mean it went up. Adaptation doesn't mean a step up. As a matter of fact, adaptation literally means a lacking of the genetic transfer of the genetic information.
Recessiveness.
A recessiveness, yes.
A
Meaning you
recess.
didn't get all of the genetic information. So as a
Yeah.
result of the transfer of genes, the genetic information did not go over. You are what's called genetically sick. Genetically recessive means genetically sick.
Well, then you know who else that's talking about?
Who else that's talking about?
The demi Yaldabaoth. Yaldabaoth was a
Well,
recessive being.
yeah, you're right. He's a manifestation of that situation happening. Like
Well,
it
it didn't.
manifested itself. Well,
It
it was the opposite. That happening is a manifestation of the demiurge, like actually becoming more relevant, more, you know what I'm saying, inside of
well,
humanity.
the mythos was that it didn't allow itself a time to be born. It aborted itself from out of it. It tore itself out of its mother womb before it was time for it to be born. So it didn't receive all the genetic information from its mother that it was supposed to receive.
Right. Well, the
But
thing
later
about it
on,
is if it shunned his mother, basically the demiurge shunned his mother. Then
yeah,
okay, so if it shuns his
it
mother,
shunned it.
right? Because you know uh, when a
Uh-huh.
when a when a woman has a baby, the genetic the all when the baby comes out, they still don't have all the genetic information yet. How do they get the rest of it?
From her milk.
Breastfeeding, yes. Thank you. Breastfeeding.
Hmm.
That's why it's
Yeah.
important to breastfeed your baby.
Well, it
Because the
did come
rest of
back
the
and
genetic
steal her
information
life.
comes through the breast milk.
Well, he did come back and steal her light,
Right.
and he used that light
Because
to
he knew
create.
he was incomplete. He knew he was incomplete, so he had to compensate. But we
Hmm.
gotta go though, brother. We gotta go.
All right. Good night,
See y'all next
Amarika.
week.
Yeah. See you next week.